I wonder if you could help. I am working with a person who is really not pulling their weight. They act stress with very little workload they are churning out, and it's leaving me and the rest of the team to pick up the slack. To top it off, they are off on the sick for at least 5 to 6 times this year already. Management don't seem to be acting on it, and we are sick and tired of it. What can I do short of quitting myself? Oh, Jamie, this sounds like a certain person you work with.
Yes. I was like, have I written this myself? um, what I can say, because obviously it's still ongoing, is not much. But what I would suggest to you is to just try and detach yourself from that situation as much as you can, because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm literally going through the same thing as you. There's nothing you can do about it. Just try and just don't even deal with it. That's what I've got to a point now where I'm just like ignoring that it's going on around me, and just
It's always a healthy thing to do, Jamie. Just pretend it doesn't exist.
push it down deep
Push it down
inside,
deep.
Dan.
Till it festers and explodes at one moment at someone that doesn't expect
it. In the past, like, the position I am now is like I'm not in management. Where in the past, where I was in management, I felt like I had a bit more power over it. And there was a few occasions where I had people like that. I remember telling you about. I don't remember if it was the last episode where I was telling you about the fella that he'd come from another company. He'd come in and he was panicking about doing a Thursday shift by himself, and I just left him to it. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes letting these people become like fuck it up for themselves is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you just
definitely.
gotta let the carnage immense, if you know what I mean. Just like
Yeah.
let them
Dig their own
destroy
grave.
themselves from within. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Absolutely. The only thing you can do your wise, I would say, is like make the complaints, because they have to then log it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so if anything came up like externally or anything like that, or a new boss or anything like that, and they look in the file and they could see that that person's got a lot of like, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, then that works in your favor. But yeah, short of just ignoring it, but I think leaving them to it, like don't pick up their slack. I mean, that's not
No,
your
definitely
responsibility.
not.
You're paid to do your part, and you're not paid to do theirs. So, yeah, I mean, if they end up staying there till fucking 8 o'clock at night trying to get it finished, then that's their fucking fault.
I also think a thing that a tool that I've used in the past, when we were back in retail, was I would make a note of dates, situations, comments made. Like if I had a grievance with someone, before it become official, I would make a note of everything that was going on around that time. And it sounds really peculiar and like backstabby to do that, but it's not. Like you're writing that down, so then you've got reference. If it does come to a point where you have to be in a investigation on this person, then you've got references to go back to. And I did that with quite a few people in the past where I knew I would forget to bring that point up. So I would be like, right, okay, so on this date this happened, this date that happened, they were late in this day, they were late in that day, rah, 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 rah. And having that reference point, also writing it down made me feel better because I was like expressing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that even that in itself does help. So
Yeah, I miss the days, because I'm a worker that people hate, because I come in when I'm supposed to. I'm not late. I don't piss about. I stand where I'm told. I'm like a proper, like my grandma brought me up right, Jamie, is the what I'm going to say. So I can say this. I miss the days where you could just turn to someone and be like, get the fuck out. Because the unions and stuff like that are great, and like all the things that are there to protect you, but they also protect the shitty fucking workers that you can't get rid of. and that always used to do my nut in. You can't just go, they're fucking useless, don't come back, because then you're going to get sued, like unfair dismissal. And it's like, no, it's not unfair. Why would I keep this fucking person on? But companies don't use the what's that thing? I can't remember what it's called. Probation. The companies don't use it. The co-op used to do it all the time.
Not the way they used to. Probably, I used to
No.
keep people on temporary contracts until their probation was up, and then as soon as their probation was up, I'd put them on a permanent contract.
Yeah. The co-op used to do my nut in because it'd be like, the person would be absolute shit, and you'd be like, why the fuck haven't you got rid of them? Oh, well, their probation just ended. I'm like, well, you had the time to get rid of them. Oh, it's too late now. I'm like, you fucking useless bastards.
I come into a store as a manager. It was always the worst thing when you come into a store and you pick up the last manager's problems and you don't know about them straight away. You find out about them after a few months. Because they when they're signing you over into that store, they tell you everything's fucking like daisy, and they're having a great time. And then 6 months down the line, you realise why the fuck they left. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a baker who, during the summer months, would go on long-term sick. So you're allowed 6 months off long-term sick back then. She'd go on long-term sick from the end of May until 6 months later, which is like, I don't know, fucking November.
Mm-hmm.
She'd come back in for the winter, so she'd been paid full-time that entire 6 months. But she had a bad back, that's what the problem was. She'd come in from November to May, work, and then literally to the end of May, like, it would always be like 1 or 2 days difference. For over 10 years, this woman was doing this. She'd take the 6 months off again. Her back would go in May. I would take all the summer months off. Then, the world of Facebook, she was getting tagged in photos at barbecues, enjoying her life for the whole fucking 6 months, getting paid full time. And I remember being in a meeting, asking me, because they wouldn't write her hours out of my shop totally, so they would ask me why my productivity was so low. And I'd be like, because I've got someone on 39-hour contract that isn't in the store. I hadn't even met her for 6 months, because when I joined, she wasn't there.
Jesus Christ! Just come in one day and she's standing there.
Yeah, I've never seen her face. I was doing welfare checks with her, and never seen her face for 6 months. Unbelievable. And eventually, it took me about 1.5 years to get rid of her. And
how did you do it?
I had to prove the 10 years worth of absences at the same time.
I think I remember you. I remember messaged you, and you were like, "Oh, I'm at work trying to go back 10 years, trying to find out this fucking woman's." I think I remember that.
She was doing it from 2009, Dan.
That's mental. I thought you were going to say that she was like going to another country for 6 months or something, and then fucking coming back.
It was unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it. She was round the corner. She only lived like 4 doors down from the fucking shop.
You see her just strolling down the road, or like going for a jog,
going on runs, and she's got a bad back. Fucking hell. I need to go. I need to.
You wouldn't even know.
Crying. Give me.
You wouldn't even know because you don't know what she looks like.
Yeah, I didn't know what she fucking looked like for 6 months.
She's waving.
But yeah, I I remember the first interaction with her coming back in, and it's a 6 o'clock start, and there was just a random person standing outside with me when I was opening the shutters, and I thought it was a customer, and I was like, "You okay? Is there anything I can help you with?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so and so. I work here. I've been working there for 4 months, never seen her." I was like, "Oh, hello." And then you have to do like the return to work form and all that stuff with her. I just remember sitting there thinking, absolutely bewildered.
That's mental.
She's fuck all for a whole shift. Worst baker I've ever had. Even when she was working, she did nothing.
I know who the best baker you've ever had, Jamie, is. Fishing for compliments. That's fucking banging, isn't it?
I do remember that time you did the 150 mince pies, and then our boss went mental. Do you remember?
I was fucking empowering them out. People fucking loved them. I
They
was
did.
fucking yeah.
You ended up being the winner in that argument.
Yeah. So there's not much you can do. Work, like I said, those shitty workers are protected, and they're also covered by the people like you that are doing their work. So it's absolutely frustrating. I get frustrated every fucking day. There's this one guy at work that just won't shut his fucking mouth every time I look up. And then we had one guy, there's this one guy that can't keep up. And he happens to be at the beginning of our fucking line, so he slows everyone else down. But the guy can't keep up. So what would you do? You would leave him to do his work or help him? No. This fucking dickhead goes over and decides he wants to have a chat with him. To stop him even more, you just hear me fucking screaming, doing my fucking nutting. He's going, calm down, Dan, calm down. I'm like, you tell me to calm down one more fucking time, you laggy streak of piss, I swear to fuck.
It is the difference between work ethics as well. Like, there's a lot of people that I know that couldn't give a fuck. Could not give less of a fuck about their job.
Yeah.
And then you've got people that get stressed about their jobs because they care too much.
Yeah.
And there's
Absolutely.
no in between.
No,
There's no
not
in between.
at all. But hopefully you'll get it sorted, or, you know, you can just gang up and beat the fuck out of him. That's brilliant. Do not do that. Stay away from him. But there is a silver lining, because when you go home you have to see him. But please keep on listening. Hopefully you'll people like that will always get found out for being a useless bastard. So if you can, stop helping him out and just let him dig his own grave. That'd be the easiest thing to do. Let him fuck it himself.
I think.
Yeah. Stop covering for him.